Okay.
You can't yell at me about a cold open and not having anything when you and Rachel sit here for 10 minutes.
But we're having
delivering
girl time.
No, you're delivering. We're having girl time. What do you think this
not.
podcast is?
Different.
Iggy, get over here and have girl time with us.
Also, Eli walked in and I was watching edits of Justin Bieber, and I've never been so embarrassed. But okay, we're gonna get to it.
I didn't hear or see anything.
I fell down a Justin Bieber rabbit hole yesterday as it relates to Dance Moms. I promise it's related. It's gonna blow your mind. So yesterday I had my literal dream day where it took me like 2 hours to watch this episode of Dance Moms because I kept side Googling 2014, 2013 pop culture, which is like one of my favorite niches. What are you doing?
I'm taking a picture of Iggy. Keep talking.
Oh, wig in the sun.
Just look at her.
She's so... my favorite thing... I think it might have been you that said it. At one point, you're like, why does she look like that? I was like, it's a really great question. I have no fucking idea. Okay, are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
I feel a hair right on my face. Ugh. Okay, you ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay. Always with the giggle. Always with the giggle before I can get into it.
It's because every time you do that, there's always this very slight pause.
Yeah, because
I know why. I know why. I know why. I know. Now who's looking at the audio spikes?
The wave.
I know that.
The waveform is so indicative of our friendship that it's like normal and then like a blue cloud of screaming at each other and then it like goes back to normal.
Yeah.
Well, I have to pause because I have to edit.
Why, Amanda. I know why it happens.
Do you get it?
But because it's not the natural way that we normally talk to each other.
We're usually interrupting each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Where there's usually like a just connection between our sentences, and now there's this pause. It makes me chuckle every time.
You don't get me. You have no empathy for the editor of this show. Me and only me. A staff of two.
I'm
a
out.
Staff of 1.5.
I'm leaving.
Okay, I'm gonna do the theme song. Are you ready? Welcome back to the Pyramid Guys, Gals, and Non-Binary Pals. My name is Amanda, and much to my chagrin, exhaustion, and despair, I am your host. Just kidding. That was dramatic. Every single fucking week, except for the weeks I'm too busy and everything is really difficult and I'm fucking not.
And I'm Eli, the Dipshit Participation Trophy of co-hosts, and also the podcast's Iggy Wrangler.
Yeah. Iggy, come on.
Come here,
boing. What a cutie.
Hello.
We have so many listener emails.
Let's go, dude.
It's not so many. It's only like 3. But and then there are 2 for next week because they have spoilers for nationals. One of them is, I'm not kidding, my favorite email we've ever gotten ever.
Oh my god.
Which is a really tall order because we've had some awesome emails.
Bangers, dude.
So our pyramids have to be somewhat succinct.
Got it.
Because we have a lot to talk about.
Let me get my notes out.
Okay, awesome. Do you want me to start?
No, I got it.
Oh, okay. Silencing women, great.
What? Oh, shut the fuck. It's 9:40 a.m. and I'm already done with you.
Could have been 9 o'clock. Could have been done with me sooner. But
no. Well, I had to watch.
Late to the stew.
I had to watch the episode this morning.
Oh my god.
And I didn't wake up at the time. Well, I woke up and I was just like, I cannot ingest Dance Moms right now. It was 7:45 and I was like, no.
Yeah, fair.
So, all right, the bottom of my pyramid is having to constantly clean my house.
Sure.
Like,
don't you hire a cleaning person?
I have a couple of times just to do like the full deep clean
thing. But not on the reg.
Yeah, but like the regular clean shit, like I know some people like doing it, and I will admit that like after I've done it, I'm like, this looks really good. It smells great. I'm glad I did this. But like looking at like my house, be like, oh, there's dog hair. I gotta sweep this. Oh, the oven needs to get white. Like all that, like it stresses me out a lot.
Yeah.
And the thought of having to do it stress, I just don't like it.
And it never ends.
So
it's like grocery shopping.
Yeah. If anyone lives in Middle Tennessee and wants to just clean my house, bring it. I would love that.
Hit my line, let me know.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, I think, I don't know, I've recorded like 5 billion episodes of this fucking podcast, so maybe I said this before. But for the first time ever, I don't have a bottom of the pyramid. I have nothing to complain about.
Are you saying you need another bottom?
No. No. I have struggles with like, I forgot to start the timer. Maybe that's the bottom of the pyramid is when I forget to start the timer.
It's 5 minutes.
Do you know, side note, do you know why I have to start a timer? Do you know why it auto shuts off every 29 minutes?
No.
I did a Google deep dive on this. It's because when these cameras were being sold in Europe, if a camera has the video capacity greater than 30 minutes, it has to be classified as a video camera, which get taxed higher in Europe, just in general.
Weird.
So it cuts off at 29 minutes and 59 seconds so that they can sell it as a point-and-shoot camera, not as a video camera. Anyway, or as a photography camera. Yeah. Because I was like, this is stupid. This is such bullshit. And I went down the deep dive and I was like, okay, this is still stupid, but at least there's a reason. But no, like I've had like, what am I doing with my life? Do my friends all hate me kind of anxiety, which is like not super uncommon for me. It's like, it's not an infrequent occurrence, but in terms of like tiny bullshit to complain about, I'm chilling.
That's awesome.
Everything is
Damn it. I did have a cold open.
Oh, okay. Well, say it now. Damn. What?
Well, now that we're nice and warm.
Ew.
There's a woman walking this tiny little dog who looked kind of old as I was pulling into your like little complex right here, and she was walking, and the dog, again clearly very old, just kind of like sat on the sidewalk, and she walked a couple feet past it, and then turns around and is like attempting to reason with the dog.
Come on.
Like I see her doing this. She's just like, would you just come on? Like, we're not doing that. Like, she's just
we're
like
right by the house.
Like full sentences talking to this, and it made me laugh so hard because I do that with Otis.
I have done that with Iggy.
I know pet owners do that. They're just like, well, no, all right, come on, Otis.
I do that
like,
with Liza when she's growling at Iggy. I'm like, you know that dog is bigger than you, right? Like, you know she does you a favor by not killing you every day, right? Like, what the hell is going on? What's your attitude about? And Liza's just sitting there like looking at me. It's awesome. Yeah. What's the middle of your pyramid, bruh?
The middle of my pyramid is that there's a professional opportunity that has presented itself to me, and I don't know if I want to take it. So I'll try and make this quick. I manage the volunteer department at Second Harvest. One of our beloved corporate donor, like corporate fundraisers, has announced that she's leaving the organization, which is heartbreaking, just like on a personal level, but also like she's great at her job. So, but immediately, before it was actually even announced to the full organization, her boss, the senior director of like corporate philanthropy and blah, blah, came up to me and was like, so Eli, you may have heard that Erica's leaving.
Well, right.
What do you think about that position? And he's like, before you say no, let me take you out to lunch. Let me tell you about the position. And then still don't say no after that.
Yeah.
So like he's really trying to get me to join their team, and he's great, and the rest of the team's great. And so like I think there would be a somewhat decent pay raise. You and I have already discussed this, but just for the listeners, there might be a little bit of a pay raise. But the problem is I don't know that I would get the same level of fulfillment out of it. Like raising money for a great organization, like that's awesome. Sure. But I love the personal connections with people that are giving their most valuable resource, their time. Like it's great that companies want to give us a bunch of money. That's awesome. Like we cannot operate without the dollars that are coming in, but like that doesn't hit me as hard as people giving their time. And so like I'm a little back and forth on it. So that's why it's the middle.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm flattered though.
Yeah. My middle of the pyramid is so goofy, but I think will be relatable to a pretty substantial demographic of our audience.
I love goofy shit.
I fear I am on the precipice of my second Hamilton phase. Now, I would like to preface this by saying a couple of things.
Did not see that one coming.
Thank you. A couple of things. Firstly, when Hamilton first came out, I was a sophomore in college, actively pursuing my degree in theater performance. So when that musical hit the big time, it was an earth-shattering event for freaks like me in college who were working towards degrees in musical theater. And I really, really, obviously, as did like most of the theater community, like fell in love with it and like really had a great time. I'm trying to talk about something I care about.
I'm not doing this. I put my hand on the small of her back and she freaked out immediately. This is not...
Egg.
Y'all, we say this a lot, but if you're not watching the video this week,
you're only getting half the story.
You're really missing out. Iggy is on her freak shit, dude.
Always. And yeah, so I obviously really enjoyed it when it first came out, and it was like a really big deal, and it shattered our theater community for better or for worse. There were people who hated it, people who loved it, whatever.
No.
It won the most amount of Tonys that any musical's ever won, which is so unfair to every other show that was up at the time. I just hate it for them because there were lots of other good shows on, but whatever.
Yeah, I've noticed that that's happened sometimes with like the Oscars, where like a truly great movie,
Everything Everywhere All at Once,
it'll
was
get
in theaters,
like,
and it's like, fuck
it'll
me.
get nothing because like you just so happen to have been in a year with like one of the best movies of the decade.
Yeah. I think it won like 19 Tonys or something
Jeez.
stupid, and like the record before was like 10. It's the. Fuck. Hang on. It's
no,
my Roomba. No.
Leave it recording.
No, it's so loud.
Oh, no.
Iggy.
No, I'm just mean because Iggy's chasing it.
Iggy's number one op is... How do I get it? It's not offline. Hang on.
Oh, this is awesome. Look.
Iggy, shut up!
This is so chaotic. Oh, man. Again, if you're not watching the video for this episode, do yourself a favor.
Only getting half the story.
Go to Spotify or YouTube. Holy cow. That was awesome.
With peace and love.
Come on.
Child.
Come on. Iggy. Boing.
Okay.
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah. That was this dude.
Anyway, so that musical came out in like 2016, 2017, something like that.
Sure.
I graduate school, I have my degree in theater performance, and I'm like in the process of becoming like a teacher. Like that's the path I decided to go down. I was like, I'm going to be a theater teacher, whatever. And in the state of Tennessee, in order to be a public school teacher, you have to pass, you have to have a degree in education, and I didn't. I had a degree in theater performance, and so I needed to get my master's in teaching to be able to be a teacher, because you have to have a degree. And in order to get that degree in the state of Tennessee, you have to pass something that's called EdTPA. It used to be the Praxis, and now it's something different, because the Praxis was a sit-down, kind of like multiple choice essay sort of test, and obviously that's not the best way to see if someone can demonstrate the qualities that are needed to become a public educator and whatever. You need to see people teach. And so EdTPA's whole focus was that you would write lessons and you would write essays on what you then taught to students. And then you had to record yourself teaching and cite moments in the footage where you know, whatever the thing that you were trying to prove is.
You check the boxes of like, here are the standards of teaching.
Here's me doing them.
Here's this quality. Here's
and
this thing.
And that came with writing a really, really intense like thesis on why you're a good teacher and why you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing according to the state of Tennessee. I, not to brag, passed with flying colors. I passed by like a margin of like 6 points. It was crazy. And the lesson I chose to teach was about Hamilton. It was Hamilton's arc compared to Joseph Campbell's monomyth of, you know, the hero's journey.
Yeah. And
my conversation with my students was who's the hero, who's the villain, because that's very difficult. Who's the main character? Whose musical is this? Whose story is this? Because you have so many main characters. And I got like really great feedback from my students. It was a great thing. So when people are like, do you know Hamilton? Bitch, I wrote my master's thesis on that show. Any like fun fact you know about Hamilton, I have probably heard before. And after I wrote my thesis, I had to set it down because I was like, I don't want to lose. And I needed to decide when I was doing my thesis, like what's a thing I can do a deep dive in and not get tired of it.
Sure. That's
like, what's the educational gift that keeps on giving for me? And because the musical is so complex, and because it's so like rife with self-references, references to the classics, and actual legitimate historical accuracy in places, I was like, I'm picking this. In places, not in everything. Get down.
And boogie.
And so every once in a while, someone will say something, and I'll be like, oh, that. In my brain, because I'm not a freak, I don't say this shit out loud. In my brain, I'm like, oh, that's a lyric in this song in Hamilton, whatever. I had a function to attend Friday night that was like 4 cities away, and so I had like a pretty substantial commute. And I was like, what can I listen to? And I was like, I'm feeling kind of burnt out on my podcast, like whatever. And I was like, you know what? Let's run it back. Let's do Hamilton again. And god damn it, if that musical isn't the fucking best. I'm going to put this on record, I do not recommend that anyone see it who is not a theater kid. And I know that's a hot take because some people will be like, oh, this is a great intro. No, it is not. It is it's musical theater on crack. So if you've never seen a musical before, most of my friends who are not theater people who saw it did not like it because it's too much. It's like the set, the like sensory experience, the lyricism, it's a lot. And so if you are not already primed to ingest a lot of musical theater, you're going to hate it. But
well, maybe.
It is maybe, but it is so fucking good. And there's so much there that's so like rich and perfect. And I was listening to it and it was just like, damn, it's in the middle of my pyramid because theater kids are fucking annoying. And I know this. I used to be a professional theater kid. I worked in professional theater before I was an educator in theater. I have my degree in theater. I know theater kids are fucking annoying.
I am on record as not necessarily piggybacking on this.
They are.
I don't have an opinion.
Fucking annoying as shit. And so I want to be in this, but I am, outside of you, everyone who listens to this, and my sister, I have told no one. Because Hamilton theater kids are specifically fucking annoying. So it's in the middle of my pyramid because I know, it's like, I don't even know like what to compare it to, but it's not stupid, but it can be really annoying to other people who are not in the fandom like that. So, middle of my pyramid, I was listening to it yesterday, like while I was doing shit at my house. I was like, fuck, this is awesome. Okay, what's the top of your pyramid, bruh?
The top of my pyramid is the block party I was at yesterday. It was a benefit for Second Harvest. It's called Ode to Otha. It is put on by this guy named Bill Ramsey. He's an attorney in Nashville. And
Connected to Dave or no?
No.
Oh, thank God, I hate Dave Ramsey.
Way better than Dave Ramsey.
Good.
But
Low bar.
Bill used to be really good friends with Otha Turner. Otha Turner was this legendary jazz fife player. A fife is like a flute, basically. And this was decades ago. And after Otha passed away, Bill was like, well, I want to honor him. So we're just going to have like a block party in like the southern part of Nashville. And like all the neighbors are in on it. And it's been going on for 31 years now. It's this massive production.
That's crazy.
All the proceeds from this block party go to Second Harvest, where I work. And it's dope. So this is my third year being involved with it. I don't put this on. I just like always help with it because we have volunteers there. And there's like booths at either end, and so we're checking people in and selling and like collecting donations and things like that. With the block party itself, there is unlimited free food, beer and margaritas. There's like fried catfish and like multiple types of barbecue. There's snow cones. There's face painting for kids. There's a little mini train that goes down the street, and all the kids freaking love it. Yeah, it was great. And we set a record for how much money we raised. Yeah,
nice, because people know that y'all's funding be cut.
Well, maybe. It was still. It's like
I'm sure they do.
It's like kind of on track with like the jumps that we've made in the past couple of years, but this one was like a pretty decent jump above that. But yeah, so we raised a bunch of money, and it was awesome, dude. Like that is how I want. That is like I'm in my total element right there.
Yeah,
I'm interacting with the public. I have a tank top on my body. I have a beer in my hand.
You got sunglasses on?
Yeah, and I get to talk about Second Harvest. Hell yeah,
that's literally your dream.
Absolutely.
My top of the pyramid this last week has been going to the gym.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's fucking go.
I towards the end of the week, like went and I was like, oh, I get it.
Yes.
Like I get why people are so obsessed with this activity.
It's awesome.
And I never really got it with rock climbing because the people who rock climb are very, like it's a niche like activity. And I just never really understood like the hype that people, you know, really spend a lot of time doing it and whatever. And I rock climbed outdoors a couple times and I was like, I still don't really get it. But then this week I locked in and I was like, oh shit, I understand. You know what I think would be really fun? I think you and I should swap workout playlists for a day. I think that would be really fun.
It would be fun for me.
You like
would not be fun for you.
Lifting a fuck ton of weight listening to Thought Shit by Megan Thee Stallion.
Do you want to know what's funny?
What?
That has come up on a workout playlist of mine.
It's a great song. Megan Thee Stallion said, Megan Thee Stallion said, none of these hoes saying shit to my face, but none of these hoes finna see me at the bank. That's awesome. I don't give a fuck who talked behind my back.
Does she not?
Because a bitch knew better than to let me hear it. That's awesome. I love her. My song of the week is by Megan Thee Stallion. It's not Thought Shit, but it is by Megan Thee Stallion.
That would be awesome if it was.
But anyway, am locking in. I like totally get it. And I also understand like how someone could be obsessed with the science of it too, because it's like, obviously there's a lot of science there. So I like, I'm not saying that that's my personal team, but like, as I've like started like following different people and stuff on the internet who like look like me and go to the gym, or who like my friend Abby, who really like put me on, shouts out 'cause she listens, who like really put me on one when it comes to the gym. She recommended a lot of influencers to me who are not small. And she was like, if your goal is not weight loss, but it's body recomposition, don't follow the girls that are really little, because that's going to fuck with you. And she was like, here are all the women that I follow that are muscular and like bigger girls are not thin. Like, don't hardwire yourself towards being little and weight loss if that's not the goal. If that is the goal, that's great.
Yeah.
But from what I'm getting from you, that's not where you're headed. That's not what you want, I mean. So don't put that in your brain. You know what I mean? For your feet.
For sure. Also, not that anyone cares what I have to say about anyone's bodies, but like
sometimes.
Strong is sexy.
Sure.
Like the if you're like really naturally small and everything, like that's fine, do your thing. But like I am of the opinion, like my personal journey to fitness and what I find like attractive about myself and about other people physically, one of those things is like being strong.
Sure.
Like lift heavy weights. Yeah. It's dope.
I was at one point I was like in an area of the gym, and in the mirrors behind me I could see all of the squat racks.
Yeah. And
every single one was occupied by a woman.
Yeah.
I was like, women are fucking awesome.
Men
dude.
don't work legs enough either. Also, men don't like working out in the mornings.
Yeah, my gym is like, because and I know you see this because I've shared my fitness notes app with you, or note. Yeah.
It's called Gym Girly, by the way.
It is, and it has a little, like, it's so cute. Anyway, my gym playlist is called my gym slay list, but that's unrelated.
Unrelated.
There you go. Now you're getting it.
Yeah. I made a joke on the podcast.
Happy Pride Month, by the way. Happy Pride Month. But anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, I get up at 5:45 every morning.
Insane.
And I be going, and I be in that hoe for real. And then I come home, I leave by 7:30, come home, get ready, go to work by 9. It's it, dude. I am so insanely locked in. It's crazy. That's dope. I go on days where I don't edit my note either. I just be referencing it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm really locked in. So if I come to steal your man, don't be surprised.
Or your woman.
I mean, honestly, yeah. One time I was getting coffee with a friend who's a bisexual woman, and we were sitting in the coffee shop, and a attractive woman came to sit and talk to me, and she was like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm from Nashville, whatever." And my friend was not sitting there; she was getting her coffee, and then this woman gets up, and my friend sits down, and she was like, "What the hell?" She was like, "That's so frustrating to me, someone who would sleep with a woman." And I was like, "I don't know what to tell you, girl. It's just my vibe." One time last summer, the closest I've ever come to being like kind of an annoying straight person was I was at QDP, which is an event that I think it happens all over the country, but it stands for the Queer Dance Party. And I went to the QDP for Pride last summer. And not to be gross, I looked awesome. I looked insanely awesome. And I went to the bar, and a girl started hitting on me. Not unfamiliar.
Classic.
And I was like, "Hey girl, that's, whatever." And I was like, "Where are you from?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm just in town. I'm in college." I was like, "Whoops." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "Where do you go to school? What are you going to school for?" Like, whatever. And we were just chatted up at the bar. And she was doing that thing where, you look at someone's eyes and then you look at their mouth. Yeah. And I was like, "Wait a second, what's happening?" And then she looked at me and she was like, "You're, really pretty." And I was like, my beer came up and I was like, "Thank you so much. Have a great night." And I left. I was like, "I'm really sorry."
That's when you tell her, "I'm a straight."
I know.
Otherwise, you're just saying you're not my type, and that can be
I know,
hurtful.
and I don't want to be an asshole,
Just
but it's like, "You're not
straight."
my type because you're a girl, sweet baby." But I had a bunch of my friends there with me, and I was this close to grabbing one of my friends and being like, "This is my girlfriend." And we're in a closed gay relationship, which is very rare.
Or you could be honest with her.
I know.
Crazy other idea.
I know, but I was just so overwhelmed in that moment, and I was like, "Have a great night. I have to go." Anyway, are you ready? We need to talk about these listener emails because they're crazy. Okay, and look at her. Don't. If you start this, I will go to brunch by myself.
I'm saying she's falling asleep.
Okay, good. This is
Look how cute she is.
Oh, sorry.
I would.
Don't. Her tail twitched.
I would ride into battle for this dog. No question.
Okay.
I'll have like a shield and a banner with her fucking face on it.
Yeah, and Iggy will be asleep during the battle.
Yes.
Because she's that girl.
Oh.
Okay. First email. I've written like synopses of these because one of them is I have to read it straight up, and you'll see why. The first one's from Michaela. First of all, she says that she like feels kind of weird about recommending magnesium supplements to me one time in an email, which I have started taking magnesium supplements on the recommendation of my doctor. I take ashwagandha and magnesium to go to sleep every night. It changed my life. So like I never get muscle cramps anymore, really. I feel like sore, but I don't get like cramps where I feel like I can't move, and they help me sleep. So that's a great recommendation, first of all.
Oh yeah.
She says the Kelly and Abby fight with the biting and stuff was 100% not staged. And she said that Kelly said
so
in
funny to
I
me,
know,
then.
Abby's just that stupid.
That's so
But
funny.
she says that Kelly in like her podcast says that Abby was saying like really terrible things about Brooke, and she ended it by asking Kelly if Brooke was on drugs because she's so lazy, which is like not great. She also ran up on Kelly before the hair pulling and backed her against a wall and started screaming at her. Obviously not shown in the show.
Why wouldn't they show that? That's crazy.
Because I don't know. Because they wanted to paint Kelly as I don't know.
How in the world? That's the other thing. Like, if that's the case, how do they not realize that Abby is 100% the villain?
I know.
And
it's
everyone
crazy.
views her as the villain.
The villain,
like,
yeah.
You don't, like, why would you cut, whatever.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
But then she also says that Abby tried to do the same thing to Christy. That episode where she backs Christy into a wall and Christy, like, blows in her face.
Oh, yeah.
She tried to do the same thing to Christy, but Christy didn't take the bait.
Nah.
And she says that the episode where... this is crazy. I mean, it all is, but, like, this is so insane. The episode where all the kids like run to Abby to hug her because she's crying about her mom dying.
Yeah.
When Chloe ran in with the group, Abby like put her arm out and was like, "Don't," to Chloe specifically. But all the other girls were like having a sweet moment with her. And then later on, like 2 episodes later, Chloe goes and gives Abby a hug by herself, which I thought was kind of strange. And it was because production got on to Abby for singling Chloe out too much. So like, you can't do that. And so she was like making up for it because of that. Crazy. And then at the end of Michaela's email, she says,
Holy
seriously
shit.
though, I know. Seriously though, thank you so much for all the time you put into this podcast because it's so fun to listen to. And I love the summaries that Amanda comes up with because I think they're stated so much better than Eli's. No, I'm just kidding. So much better than so much better than line by line quotes. And they genuinely make me giggle. You guys are awesome. And thanks for helping me lock in at work and while commuting. No pyramid because Eli is right. Unfortunately, coming up with a pyramid is hard. LOL. Tony, I hope you consider this as my formal field researcher application.
That's a good email.
Shouts out to Alyssa. She got straight A's on her finals.
Yep.
She says because of us. And she qualified for a merit scholarship.
Hell yeah.
Period, actually. So that's like fucking awesome. And she said mazel to you for becoming an uncle.
Yep.
Okay. This is
Appreciate it, Alyssa.
I'm so excited to read you this email. I'm like, I'm going to freak out. Okay.
I'm scared.
No. I mean, you should be.
No, I'm quoting
Okay.
you.
This is, I know, but you should be scared. This is... This email is from Kaylee, and it starts by saying, "Dear Amanda and the human equivalent of an unfrosted Pop-Tart."
No! No!
Really rocked my shit. That's awesome. She says, "Oh, is my flashlight on? Oh my god, that's so
It is.
embarrassing.
I wasn't going to say. Yeah.
That's so embarrassing
Talking
because of this email." Okay.
Talking about unfrosted Pop-Tarts over here.
Shush. She says, "Relatively new listener, first time emailer. You're welcome to say my name if you want to read on any of this on the pod, Kaylee, she or her."
Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you for clarifying. I found and speed ran through your podcast over the last few months, and I've reached the point now where I'm stuck waiting for new episodes to drop alongside the original listeners.
Brutal.
Amanda, you're hilarious and have kept me entertained and laughing, which is greatly appreciated.
She
I
set me
know. Hang on. I know I'm late to the party on this one, but I feel like such a proud mom when you did your stand-up set for the charity event last summer. And I would be super interested in seeing it or another set you've done if there's a video or recording you'd be willing to share. TBD. I do have a recording of it because National Public Television was there to do a documentary on my brother-in-law. Well, that's dramatic. They were doing a documentary on first-gen kids in the States in Nashville, and he is that. So they filmed the whole thing, and I have it. So, TBD.
I would like to see it again.
Me too, kind of, because I kind of ate that up. Okay,
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, naked toaster pastry. I regret to report that your voice has also come through my audio feed as I've consumed this media. No commentary, just she's heard you.
Just
anyway,
you are also there.
Anyway,
what more could you ask for,
honestly. Anyway, there was an episode where you were inspired by the Back to the Bar drinking game, and the bland dude that you give a platform to speak mentioned the possibility of a bingo card. Unfortunately for feminism, straight white men have won once again, as this idea has stuck in my head for so long, I was forced to act on it. Attached, you will find 3 versions of Pyramid Pod bingo cards with different contents to check off that may appear in your episodes, alcohol optional. Am I going to read all 3 of these right now? You bet your bottom dollar I am. When I read these out loud, I was crying. They're so funny. And next week is the season finale of season 4. We have to.
All right.
We said we were going to do it for the season 3 finale, and then we wussed out. So, we being me. So, we have to do it for this one. Okay.
Deal.
Version number 1. So, they're bingo cards that look like this.
Oh, shit. That looks really good.
They are, like, out there like that. It's fucking awesome. I'm going to post these on Instagram. Okay. So, the first version, these are all the spaces.
What's this emailer's name?
Kaylee.
Kaylee? Fuck yeah,
I'm telling you, this is my favorite email I've ever gotten. Okay, here's the bingo card, the first one. Anyone is referred to as a bestie of the pod. Eli makes a stumbling attempt at a pun. Anyone speaks reverently of Dr. Holly. Anyone speaks reverently of Dr. Holly. Good night, Alyssa. Anytime anyone says tea, Eli is old. Amanda says, I love that. An Iggy appearance. Eli says, the hell was I talking about? Anyone says the Venn diagram is a circle. Anyone can't understand their own nose.
That's you. That is exclusively
you.
Me
specifically. Eli tells 1 of 5 of his jokes. Either ass blank, how blank, so blank. Intense or major or general or nickname in college. And that's 1 square.
Those are my unskippable dialogue. That's it.
Yeah. There's a free space. Amanda says slay. Someone educates us. Anyone says this is a blank podcast now. There's a high five. Amanda says cooks my grits. Amanda is exasperated by Eli's attempts at being funny. That's also a free space. Basically. Anyone describes something as a nothing burger, a Justin Bieber mention. Eli bets his bottom dollar, and someone breaks into song. Amanda says she's just like me for real, and Amanda says you know what I mean. Version number 2.
Holy shit, that's so... Hold on, you gotta give me a second to breathe.
No. Amanda describes anyone as a woman in STEM. Anyone makes a joke about bottoms. Anyone responds to part of their recap with yikes. A Drag Race reference. Anyone says representation in media. A hyperbolic paraphrase, e.g. Abby says the worst child will be thrown into a pool of sharks with laser beams attached to their heads. Anyone says, dear listener, when Amanda says previously on and Eli replies,
on.
Amanda says something theater related. Anyone says literally same. Eli says, hell yeah, brother. Amanda responds to an Eli joke with okay or sure. Someone is described... Sure. Yeah, sure. Anyone is described as a girl boss. Eli has no logic behind his choice for the pyramid bop of the week. Also basically a free space. Amanda is the hottest, smartest, and or funniest girl ever. T.
Free space.
Yeah. Anyone refers to the mom area as the Lido deck. Anyone mentions Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola products. Anyone says in her talking head, Amanda says, I'm scared. You know what? It never was that serious. Dr. Holly is described as an educator with the hyphens. We're all reminded that Eli is a straight white man. Anyone abbreviates a word like in the stew or at the competition, and then a PA Brandon mention.
Oh my god.
And then the final...
Dude, these are electric.
The final bingo card. Anyone says, if that's not God's honest truth, Eli is the king of the libs. Amanda embellishes a listener email with profanity. Yes. Which happens more often than you would know. Yeah. Anyone makes a reference to marching band. Eli responds to Amanda dunking on him with a laughing fuck or damn it, which also happens all the time. Amanda has to remind Eli that jokes are usually funny. Anyone says period, accidentally or intentionally. Eli describes something as delightful. Anyone can't find their place in their notes. Amanda says, I can't talk about it or I'll cry. A King Tony mention. Amanda says, put that on my tombstone. Amanda says, slay. Eli is a gym bro or proud of his ass.
That's a free space. I'm always proud of my ass.
Really made me giggle. Anyone says, I love that for you. Eliza appearance. You don't get those anymore. I'm so sorry.
That's real tough.
Ever since What's Her Bucket moved in, that's a very rare occurrence. Anyone expresses disdain for Republicans. Elijah Elizabeth Farmer is called his real government name. Anyone describes something as a read. Anyone says not a sponsor but could be. Consultation with Alexa or Siri. Amanda needs an apology letter with tears. Eli says shout out to blank. And anyone says go girl, give us nothing.
Oh my God.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
I need a second. I feel like I've never smoked before in my life. I need a cigarette right now.
I am over the fucking moon, dude. That's fucking awesome. You know how many hours of this bullshit she's consumed to get us here?
I would argue too many.
I would argue maybe see someone. And I would argue
that's awesome.
Maybe call your therapist. That is fucking awesome, dude. The next step is somebody writing fanfic about us. I said that as a cold open one time. I'm ready for that. If you, Kaylee, get on your shit, girl. Let me know. I'll keep it to myself.
It's me riding into war to defend Iggy's honor.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. That's really awesome. So next week,
my face hurts.
I know, girl, you and me both. So next week, we're gonna put these up. I'm gonna put these up before next week's episode comes out, and then next week play bingo. Send me your card. Tell me about your bingo experience. You and I will have to take a drink every time. Like we'll pick a card and see who gets bingo first. I guess, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay. I'll try to keep it brief for my pyramid. Bottom of the pyramid is reckless or inconsiderate drivers. Yep. We're all just out here trying to get where we need to go, and it's annoying to put everyone at risk because you think it's cool to play Death Race 2000 to get to the red light a microsecond before me. Middle of the pyramid is when you take a week or two off from recording because slave for setting boundaries, but also I want new content to giggle at while I try to avoid being wrecked into the aforementioned bottoms of my pyramid. Top of the pyramid is vibing with coworkers because when you spend so much of your time at work, it really makes a difference to be surrounded by genuinely cool people, and being able to laugh together makes the days go by faster.
100%.
In lieu of a song, I would like to direct the two of you to another television program found over on the Netflix. Kaylee, I know you're watching Trixie and Katya, bitch. Program and Netflix. I was like, she's one of the girls. Starring one Miss Alyssa Edwards, aka Justin Johnson, as a hometown dance studio owner, instructor, choreographer, creative director, etc. Deep in the heart of Texas, it's called Dancing Queen, and only rolled out one season, but it's an intriguing smushing together of dance moms and drag race style programming I think you might enjoy. I've mentioned that show to you before, and Patrick and Leah. It's so good. I love that show. That's all I've got for now. Thanks for, that's all I've got.
That's all.
Like,
you wrote a novel.
Yeah. That's all. Thanks for sharing your podcast, Amanda. Eli, wishing you a sensation akin to the slight irritation and dejection of a little pointy-ended yellow straw sticking all the way through and out the other side of a Capri Sun.
Oh, that's so brutal.
Kaylee. P.S.
What? But wait, there's more.
Yes. She says, sorry. She says to turn off the setting that makes your flashlight turn on. If you tap the back of your phone, go to settings, accessibility, touchback, tap, and switch it to off. And I literally was like, oh, my flashlight's on. Girl, like,
Jesus.
I'm upset. I'm gonna frame that email and submit it to the Smithsonian Museum of Art. That is the perfect email. Oh my fuck.
That was nonstop haymakers for the last 5
minutes. The PS
of
just like tech support, crazy.
Yeah,
and no commentary.
Accurate tech support because you literally fucking had it on during that email.
I'm like sweating. That, Kaylee.
Yeah, my face hurts.
I hope somebody kisses you on the mouth consensually. That girl, I hope it's Iggy. Me out. Okay, bitch, are you ready to talk about the content of this episode?
You bet your bottom dollar I am.
It is. Okay.
Drink.
This week, we are talking about... What?
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
What?
Nothing.
Say it.
Nope.
Okay, whatever.
Nope.
Season 4, episode 30, Hollywood Here We Come, part 1. Okay. Previously on. Ava got third place with her solo like a million weeks ago.
Is that previous? Like that?
That's very previously on. Because remember, they say previously on, not last week on.
Right, no, I know that, but like, what do we? Why do we need to set that stage?
Well, because she comes back.
It's it's like 12 seconds.
Ow.
Whatever. Sorry.
You kicked my foot.
I'm sorry.
You kicked my little strawberry.
I didn't realize that your long legs were reaching all the way out
I don't know about long, but previously, Ava 45-second solos at the dance concert. Maddie not doing one last week because she's a shoo-in, quote unquote. And Nia and Holly are not feeling great about their chances, and also Chloe with the foot injury. That's all previous. This week we start in LA. We're in LA all of this week, and I'm assuming all of next week too. The moms and girls are in a studio, and they're getting in a stew, getting ready. Getting ready for nationals. That bitch did more reflecting on this podcast than I do.
Oh,
and
then
I listen to these episodes. I record them and I listen to them, like as I'm editing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She picked up on shit I literally have never considered, like the stew or the competition.
Those are things I've noticed you doing, but I wouldn't have thought to put them on a bingo card. That's
Eli being
great.
Proud of his ass is crazy. That's awesome. Like, that's so funny to clock that. Okay, anyway.
I have a great donk. I don't know what to tell you.
Ew, gross. That's so gross. Just the word donk is crazy. Abby is talking about LA. It's like, she says it's a good city for dance, which is actually true. You know how she used to be like,
yeah,
Akron, Ohio is the pinnacle of dance. And we're like, bitch, no.
Oh God.
Well, yes. The other team, the B team, well, they do keep beating but the new team comes in, and Jill's like, oh, the gang's all here. And then Christy says, not all of them. And Abby, like, looks a little shook that they just, like, walked in. And then she says, well, you couldn't wait to be called in. They, like, stole her thunder. They, like, ruined the surprise or whatever.
Yeah, why are they there anyway?
Yeah. And then Melissa goes, oh, they don't follow the rules like we do.
Yeah, to
and then
Holly.
Christy says, oh, you're perfect, I guess. And I have in all caps, damn, what an awesome start. We're immediately fighting.
Yeah, there was drama immediately in this episode, and I was just like, oh, this is going to be exhausting, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm like, Christy, why? Whatever. And then Holly says, like, what's the point? Why are they here?
Yeah.
Like, what's the tea? And Abby says, well, every time that y'all have competed against one another, they've won. And I want to have the best chance of winning at Nationals.
And Jill then says, we've won 3 times in a row at Nationals. What are you talking about?
But Abby says, but the new team wasn't there those times. And they keep beating y'all. So, which, you know, whatever. I do kind of wish she had told them before, but I get what Abby's doing, I guess. Bottom of the pyramid, Chloe didn't dance last week, so there's nothing to judge her off of. And then Christy has a doctor's note, and she says that Chloe's been cleared to dance this week, which is
hell
good.
Yeah.
And Chloe's like, I'm really excited to be at Nationals because I wasn't there last year because her mom got into a street brawl with Leslie. Well, Leslie was swinging. Christy was defending herself.
Christy knocked her drink out of her hand.
Which is not that serious.
But also, I mean, don't do that, but that is not serious. She knocked her drink out of her hand. Hey, guess what, Leslie? You're literally surrounded by bars. Go get another one.
Yeah, and like, come on.
But instead, she literally starts throwing punches.
You're like, Corona Rita or whatever you were drinking is not that expensive. You know what I mean? It's in a plastic cup, which... No shame.
Hey, I was just talking to someone that went to New Orleans recently, and those hand grenades are really something. Those are
a hand grenade.
They're it's a long drink with the grenade in the bottom.
Ooh.
Oh, they're delightful.
Gross.
Yeah, get you one of those, you're good for the evening.
Me getting like half of one and being like, I think I'm going to call Eli. And Eli answers the phone and he's like,
and either
what?
bully him or tell him I love him. It's going to be one of the two, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta keep you on your toes, bro.
Truly.
Mackenzie is next on the pyramid. She says it's like, or Abby says sometimes she's good, sometimes she's bad. Okay.
Sometimes she's silly.
Okay. Hate that word. Nia.
You know, silly used to refer to a person like back in the olden days. Like I listen to the Dollop, and they'll go through like old newspapers and stuff and talk about how like and they'll refer to people as silly, and that used to be a way of in like the 1800s. Of referring to a person who had like some sort of like cognitive disability.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah, they would just be like, oh, they're just like a little silly.
I believe that. I dated a guy one time who anytime I would talk about my anxiety, he told me I was silly.
Oh.
So I just like, anytime I hear that word, I'm like, ugh.
I'm sorry that's a triggering experience for you. That is not like an offensive word though.
No, it's just
being
like my
silly.
Personal experience. I'm like, that's annoying, but it's my personal experience. Yeah.
Because normally it's like a fun way of saying, oh, you're just being a little silly. It's better than dumb or stupid or like you're being an idiot.
No,
like,
and he wasn't saying I was being silly. He was saying my feelings were silly.
That's silly. Well, you're feeling okay. That's right.
Anyway. Nia's next. She said she wasn't the solo she chose to do for the 45-second audition wasn't as good as it was the first time.
Yeah,
which is kind of what you had said last week. Is like, if it's lightning in a bottle, just leave it in the bottle. Don't try to replicate it. You know. Yeah. Nia, blah blah blah. Take a shot. I'm lost in my notes. Middle of the pyramid. Kendall had like confidence and she nailed it, and great. Cameron is next. Abby says, like, no matter where, like, you found me in the audience and played to me like you're supposed to with the judges.
Yep.
Which
Again,
is great.
didn't bring the fact that she fell out of her turns, but Abby just loves the fact that she was like projecting to the back of the house.
And then the top is Maddie, and she says, I just threw Maddie at the top. And she didn't even have to dance last week. You know who else didn't dance last week? Chloe on the bottom.
Yeah.
The fuck are we doing, dude?
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Maddie literally doesn't even have to do anything
To
and
be
is
on the top of
top.
here. She just like takes a deep breath, and Abby's like, oh. You know what I mean? Like, she's literally breathing. Oh my God. It's ridiculous. Abby then says on Thursday morning, Maddie, Max Z, and the rest, LOL.
And all you bitches.
And the Pips, yeah, like the background singers, are going to make an appearance at Hollywood and not Vine, which is what I thought she was
It's
going to say.
Hollywood and
like Rodeo. I don't fucking know.
No, someone's freaking out right now because I wrote it down. Please hold. Oh God. Sarah cries. Where? Hollywood and Highland.
Hollywood and Highland.
Which I thought was funny because where are the Highland girls?
I'm like, crying forever. And Abby says that she needs to she's like, I need to take advantage of all the publicity we're going to get by being in LA. And I really need to get my name out there. Girl, you're on TV.
Yeah. Where do you think you are right now?
What do you
Abby?
think is happening right now? It's like when they did the Drop Dead Diva auditions, they were like, we get to be on TV as they're talking to a camera and an interviewer. Like, what? So weird. And they're going to Intensity Dance next week for their nationals. And she says some people might be dancing at nationals twice. We don't hear anything else like the rest of this episode about that, but she does mention it in this episode.
I have to say, not to go to the end of the episode or whatever, where the hell's the rest of nationals? Like,
next week.
All that I know that.
Oh.
But like, I'm saying within like the arc of what is going to happen this weekend at nationals, they got through, I feel like, the first 15% of the drama and the nonsense. Yeah. And so I feel like next week is going to be a literal shit show.
Yeah. Well, and Abby says at the end of this episode, nationals are 2 days away. So it's an hour's worth of reality TV in 2 days, which is nuts. Because like you were saying, like the timeline is usually a week. On Drag Race, every week is 4 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's 2 days I'm scared.
Yeah.
And I'm scared, rightly
especially
so.
with
I deserve
this
to be
crew.
scared.
No, because usually when you say I'm scared, it's because I'm like, can I say something? And you're just like, I'm scared. And then it's always like me doing something completely like nothing.
Goofy. Yeah.
Unfrosted Pop-Tart worthy, some might say. Kaylee, I'm her number one fan and number one op, I think. I think she and I are going to like fight in the street and then have a beer together afterwards.
That's how I feel about you as well. I'm like my number one fan and my arch nemesis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The old group is doing a number that's like a group routine that's called Amber Alert. Did she fart?
No, Iggy just like exhaled and a huge glob of snot flew out of her nose.
Little baby.
Oh, now she's gonna come over and wipe it up. Oh, it dripped. Did you see that? It's on my. It's on my jug.
Wipe her nose off with the blanket. That's her blanket. We'll just wash it later.
Here. Oh no! Iggy,
it's probably because you're here and she's allergic to you. Okay.
I was talking to someone yesterday who's allergic to the sun.
Well, yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. The new team is doing a number called Hollywood Stars. And then Abby gives out the solos for nationals, which we've been like talking about for a million years, it feels like.
I was on the edge of my seat for these solos, actually.
Really?
Yes.
The soloists this week for nationals are Kendall, Slay.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
She's been working her ass off lately.
She really has.
And she's been like doing the thing.
She really has.
And when she did the, what was it, the 45-second solo, and she hit this crazy long turn and then just so smoothly and confidently came out of it. Yeah, she ate that shit up.
And then Chloe gets a solo, period.
Thrilled. I was thrilled.
But Abby says there's no reason why it can't be you. Which is so annoying.
Abby,
even in the setup, there's always like a smackdown. You know what I mean? Like, well, there's no reason. But there is a reason she can't. It's because she's fucking talented and a hard worker. But to be like, well, there's no reason you can't do it, I guess, whatever.
Well, no, I don't know that I saw that as a spike. What I heard it as is that Abby's saying there's no reason. Well, Abby, you've been trying to create reasons for years now. What do you mean?
You're like searching around, stumbling in the dark for a reason you can't find one.
Yeah, and
And Christy, in her talking, it says that she feels guilty about the last nationals. Now I'm concerned that my phone flashes. If it turns on, you have to tell me.
Did you change the setting?
No, I'm busy.
You were walked through the process.
I know, and good
by
news.
a wonderful listener.
Good news, that email still exists. So I can go find it when
no, but
I'm not busy.
You could have done it now.
I could have, you're right, but I didn't, so whatever.
Hey,
Abby...
can I tell you something that's going to make you absolutely furious right now?
Sure.
I'm hungry.
Oh! I haven't prayed to God in many years, but I'm about to right now. Our Father who art in heaven, please give me the strength to not beat the fuck out of this man.
All right, can I tell you
Amen.
something else? That's not actually true. I just wanted to see you do that.
What would you do if I just went over there and started wailing on you? I would beat your ass. That's so annoying. Why?
Look at Iggy's
We're going to
ear.
fight about that later.
Look at Iggy's ear.
What'd you say?
Look at her ear.
Yeah, the inside out ear. She doesn't even notice. Okay, whatever. Anyway, Abby says that she doesn't think that Maddie's going to do a solo this week or at Nationals. Okay, we'll see about that.
Yeah, I put 7 question marks after that in my notes.
Whatever, girl. And then she's going to do, she has a performance for Jimmy Kimmel this week.
Yeah,
that's what
apparently
she says
she's going to be
is
there
the
like
reason.
all day and then a little bit the next day or something.
Yeah, it's like an all-day rehearsal and then the record the next day. Maddie says that she wants to do one. She's like, I really do want a solo at Nationals, and Abby's like, no.
Well, yeah, and Abby's like, I have learned a solo in a day for sure.
Yeah, and then also my question would be, if Abby really meant that, what was the point of keeping her out of the 45-second thing last week?
True.
Because she knows who's going to get a solo at Nationals.
And
if that's true.
She also knew the week before that she was going to be on Jimmy Kimmel.
Right. So, like, she's probably known about that for months. Because they scheduled those shits way far in advance. So, like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
Cameron gets a solo for Nationals.
Nia and Holly look like
Are you kidding?
pissed.
I would be... Wow, it looks like the sun is in the living room right now. I would be pissed, too, if I were Nia and Holly. I'd be really bummed. Holly brings up that Nia has never done a solo at Nationals, and Abby says, well, she can just go somewhere else. Which is kind of true because they're at the end of the season. Their contracts are about to expire. That is kind of true.
But so she says that, and then Holly's like,
she says,
that is such a simple-minded response.
Educator.
It's like, no, I don't want to be held accountable for the decisions I make.
Yeah.
Go somewhere. I mean, Abby is technically correct.
But
like, listen, if you don't like how I do things, go somewhere else. But like, that's unfair.
Yeah.
Like all the time and energy that we've given you, all the money we've given you, and everything. Like, and Nia's like clearly shown a lot of like improvements recently, and has been kicking ass. She won a competition 2 weeks ago. Like, I get it. I get why she's mad.
I hate her. Abby looks at Nia and says she can go somewhere else. Kind of true. And Nia says, "I'm still dancing for you. It's not about that."
Oh, dude, she started talking. I was like, what other mom is talking? And I was like, oh shit, that's Nia.
Period. She says there are just some things that are hard because I've been here a lot longer than most of these other kids.
And of course, she's more well-spoken than any other child in that fucking room.
Right.
Of course she is.
She's doing what Abby has said she wants girls to do, which is stand up for yourself.
Yes.
You should have walked to rehearsal. You should have had somebody else bring you, blah, blah,
You should have learned how to drive your own car.
Right, exactly, 13-year-old. And then Holly says she's not asking for a handout, but something that Nia has earned. And then she says that she won't be silenced. Period.
Yeah, seriously.
Abby explains, Abby then explains to us what a live music performance is on Jimmy Kimmel. She's like, Sia will be there in person singing, and Maddie will be doing the choreography, blah, blah, blah. Maddie and Melissa leave at that point to go to Jimmy Kimmel. When they go to leave, they have the worst interaction ever. I fucking hate this. Abby hugs Maddie and says, I love you to Maddie. Gross.
Already not okay.
Melissa hugs Abby and says, I wish you could be there. And Abby says, I'll be there later. Awesome. And then they just
could be there.
They just leave Mackenzie there. Which I guess is fair because she's in the group number, so she does have to kind of stay for rehearsal.
But also, we didn't like see them say bye. I'm sure they did.
Jill's
but
like, oh, is Mackenzie with me? And she goes, yep, bye. Leaves.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Goodbye, second favorite child.
Yeah. Goodbye, bonus child.
Yeah.
Abby says that the next season of everything, the two teams are not going to be going head to head anymore because that's too much because Abby's going to open a studio in LA. So
How
I'm
are
a little
those
nervous
related?
about that. Huh?
How are those related?
Because
though?
it's like too much. She's like, I can't be doing 2 teams in Pittsburgh and a team in LA. So
yeah. Okay.
Abby says that she wants some of the girls from the original team to make the journey with her to LA, and she says that she knows that Maddie will go, but she's gonna decide, who else makes the cut or whatever.
Do you mean Maddie and also Mackenzie?
No, she doesn't give a fuck about that child. That child could be living in a cardboard box on the side of the road, and she wouldn't give a shit. Jill in her talking head says that it doesn't make sense for her to split up her time even more. She's like, she can barely do what she's doing now.
Agreed.
So to give her another reason to not be present is dog shit.
Agreed.
And then Gia, with the bump it clocked, comes in and she says that there's a giant package in the hallway. Like,
I don't...
No?
Amanda, listen. I'm not
I
one...
thought there was going to be like a...
I'm not one to go after the joke if it's too easy. Just kidding. That's my entire MO. Giant package?
Sure.
That was my nickname in college.
There it is. Okay.
And drink.
I was going to say giant box, but then I was like, maybe that one's too simple. So, anyway. Actually, maybe that one's too complicated.
My brain, I was going to say, giant box. Never mind. I'm not.
Well, totally, for sure. Oh, the sun. It's like
It literally
insane.
keeps going. It looks like a nuclear bomb is going off out, like on the camera.
It's the sun.
It's like the whiteout. Yeah.
You're gonna start hearing like your ears ringing in just a second.
Yeah.
It's a present from Kathy. This giant package is a present from Kathy.
Dude,
it says "bite me" on the outside.
I was really hoping Kathy was gonna fucking pop out of it.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been elite. Even Abby couldn't have been mad at that.
Oh my god, that would have been awesome. Abby does not open the package. She just pushes it like away from her. And then Jeanette the baddie walks in with Ava.
Dude,
crazy as fuck.
We're literally like, we have an appearance. We have fights with Christy. We have a kicked out member walking back in. We have Melissa saying some weird shit to Abby. We're pulling out all the stops on this
literally.
2-part finale.
The only thing that would make it better is if Leslie were here.
Oh, fucking wait. She might.
If
who
Leslie
knows?
and Peyton were here, yeah. Abby and I are both shook. Jill calls her a stalker. She's like, do you see now why everyone calls you a stalker? Like, why the fuck are you here? And Jeanette the baddie says, it's perseverance and determination. Like me when I show up outside of Hassan Piker's house. I'm like, it's perseverance and determination.
And he's like, no, it's violation of a restraining order.
This one freak on the internet, me just like at the gates outside of Hassan Piker's house.
Barking.
Yeah, I would never bark at a man in real life.
I don't believe you. I think if you saw Hassan Piker in real life,
yeah,
you'd start like foaming at the mouth and doing this thing with your hands.
That's probably true. If I saw him in real life, actually, I don't know. If I saw him in real life, I might
faint.
pass out. Yeah.
I also noticed that Ava's in like full ALDC gear.
She has her jacket on, like all this.
Which so initially when they walked in, I thought Abby's playing something. She's pulling something.
Oh yeah, like Abby called
she's supposed
her
to be here.
Show
this
up.
is like I really thought that.
That makes sense. And then Jeanette's like, well, we're here because she's still on the team. Girl, no, she fucking isn't. Abby said she's not on the team. And all the moms are like, no, she isn't.
And have you been going to rehearsals since this
Yeah,
incident,
where have you
Jeanette?
been since before today?
You just showed up at nationals. That's so crazy.
Abby like goes like this, like beckons Ava to her and then hugs her. And then
that made me think like, oh my God, she did invite them here.
Yeah, no. And then this is probably pretty innocuous, but it made me feel gross. Abby like unzips this child's jacket and says, let's take this off.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I don't know. It's probably nothing, but I just don't like it.
Underneath, I saw Ava had like ALDC, like dance, whatever it is.
In a six-pack too. Crazy also.
I mean.
I know it's not that serious, but it did feel kind of like creepy to me. Abby says that she's not a part of the team because she was cut. And Jeanette the baddie's like, I don't remember that.
I love that you just call her Jeanette the baddie.
She is. She's a baddie for real. Abby calls Chloe to the front. Like, she's like, all right, Chloe, come here.
I thought some crazy shit was going to happen.
I thought they were going to have like a spinoff.
I was so worried.
Yeah.
And well, Chloe would eat her alive.
Well, true.
But like, still.
And then Ava and Chloe stand next to each other and she goes, all right, Ava, you're too tall today. Bye. You're cut.
Is that more clear for you?
And then Ava goes to stand next to her mom and she starts crying. She says, thank you for this opportunity. So sad.
Ava, I hope obviously, like, she's an actor and stuff, like, she's turned out okay. But these poor kids,
it's not without struggle. It's not without strife, yeah. Abby then says she needs to get away from her mother to get a good training with her.
Crazy to tell a 12-year-old.
Yeah, and Jade's mom is like, Are you fucking kidding me? Y'all are here all the time. Like, this happens literally constantly. Please leave. And then Jeanette and her 30-inch bust-down fake ponytail is pissed, and they leave. And then Abby's like, all right, no more bullshit. Let's fucking get it. Let's get after it.
Abby, the whole show is bullshit.
Yeah.
Everything about you is bullshit.
Okay, girl. Cut to a commercial. We come back. I can't believe that you going commercial isn't on the bingo card.
Oh, yeah.
Commercial.
I mean, not to
You usually
nitpick
only do that right at the end.
Not to nitpick the greatest email
Yeah,
of
how
all
dare
time.
we ever give any sort of criticism, because holy fuck,
seriously.
that was awesome. Also, she did it in our color scheme.
I know.
Oh
I
my
noticed
God.
that too.
I'm obsessed.
I noticed that too.
I'm obsessed.
Dude, Kaylee, if you're like, we need to all hang out.
We need to start a Patreon and do a Zoom call with everybody and just
dude.
like hang out, yeah, and figure out what's wrong with all of us.
No, that's what the
figure out where the pain started.
Our listeners will be like, all right, so here's what I've reasoned. Here's what I think.
We'll share like toolbox or toolkit tools.
No, it's basically them just roasting us for 20 minutes.
Yeah, true. Okay, we're at rehearsals when we come back from the commercial, and the girls are like talking to their moms, like Abby's not there, and Christy is talking about how glad they are back. What? Oh, I guess like how glad they are to be at nationals, because Christy fucked it up last time. Holly is still pissed about the other team being there. Fair. I would also be pissed if I were Holly.
Yeah, well, she gives this really good. Like Christy's just like they're like, hey guys, we really need to win, and Christy's like, well, and even if we don't win, and Holly's like, no, fuck that, we're winning this shit.
And Christy's like, damn it.
She was like, okay, if Holly's on board, sure,
yeah.
cool.
Holly says you have to win.
We need to beat that other team. We need to uphold your reputation. I was like, fuck yeah, Dr. Holly,
the woman you are. Like, I love you, bitch. She's awesome.
I love that. Christy tried to be the voice of reason.
Yeah,
Holly's
and
like,
she said, no, fuck that.
No.
You have to win.
It was awesome.
We're 4 days out from the competition. We see the new teams. Yeah, drink. The new teams group rehearsal. Abby says they do well with pieces that are feminine.
They get a graceful, elegant dance is also what was said.
Yeah, true.
That was better.
I'm not saying she deserves to die for this. I'm just saying, like, ugh, made me feel. The OG moms are talking about how annoying it is that Maddie, Maxie, and all the other girls are making an appearance somewhere, because it's just like they just think it's stupid. And Holly says that Abby has a West Coast teaching style. I don't know what that means, but I'm kind of scared. And she doesn't think that LA is gonna like do well, like the LA stew is gonna do well. Jill then says this has always been well. Hey, what? What? I don't know what that means.
I got nothing for you, dude.
All right, cool. Maybe I'm supposed to say Jill has said it's always been this way.
Probably.
Like, where she just hasn't ever really cared about their team.
Yeah, she's kind of splitting her. Yeah, because they're talking about, like, the split attention between the teams.
Maybe it's that.
And then how it'll be even more difficult to run two dance studios. Yeah, I think Jill just said, like, how's that going to happen?
It's always been like this, yeah. And then Christy says, like, I would be down to move to LA, but not with Abby. Yeah. Like, she's like, I'll just come out here and pursue those other opportunities.
Well, and then someone was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, why would I put all my eggs in Abby's basket when she's putting hers in Maddie's?
Totally. That's a great point. Totally fair. We see that it's an old, like the old group, like their group rehearsal for the Amber Alert number.
Which,
hey, what?
Calling a dance Amber Alert is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Abby, and then, she even said, Abby's like, we really needed something like
dark and ooky,
challenging and controversial whatever. Is her favorite word.
And then I thought at this moment that Nia was the kidnapper, but then Abby,
thank God,
Abby puts Mackenzie in the chair and covers her mouth with her hand. Hate that.
Yeah. And Mackenzie's face, her eyes got so wide. She was
did not
terrified.
Love that. And then it's like, Mackenzie's the kidnapped, and everyone's a kidnapper. Okay, great, whatever.
Which also crazy.
Then we cut to my favorite parts of the episode, which are the Candy Apples group
Jesus
rehearsals.
Christ, dude.
Kathy in her talking head says the only reason that they are at nationals is to beat Abby, and they have spared no expense this year. And they have
like how sad is that?
I know.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
That your entire you're like, we're not going to nationals to like put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
We're not going to nationals to like have the kids have a real shot at like winning the whole damn thing.
No.
We want to challenge ourselves. No. It's because of my friend off camera.
Yeah.
And we want to beat her specifically.
We want to pretend like we hate each other. Yeah. They have this guy named Keon there who was the winner of So You Think You Can Dance season 9. And Kathy basically is like, hit it, Keon. And he goes to play their music.
Well, the funny thing is there's a pause.
Yeah.
She's like, play it, Keon. Or like, hey, Keon, go play it.
Yeah, run my track.
I thought she was trying to say something like cool, like, yeah,
hit
run
it,
that
Keon.
track or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's just like, go play it. And then he like walks for a few seconds of silence.
Yeah.
That was a pregnant pause.
Awesome.
We'll say. And then he starts playing Chandelier by Sia. Amanda, my mouth fell open.
This is how I know that Kathy is surrounded by gay people. That's messy as fuck.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's crazy. That's shady boots. Tiny little shady boots, in the word of Data Essence Hall. Tiny little shady boots. Kathy's listening to Chandelier and just staring at all the kids, which is like, it really took me out. Like, that really killed me. And the moms are like, hey, what the fuck? Like, this is so stupid. And the moms are like, you're giving Abby ammunition to compare our kids. Like, stop doing that. And Kathy's like, fuck you guys, she's gonna do it anyway. And they're like, yeah, but you're making it worse.
Yeah, and well, the thing is, it's not just ammunition, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's like she wants so badly to be Abby and to have Maddie and to like have all the things that Abby's
to like
getting.
win and whatever.
It's all, yeah, it's just so sad. And Kathy in her talking head says, I acknowledge that it's a risk. And Kathy then says, like, Keon is here to bring more risky choreography. He's here to push the boundaries.
Girl, whatever. He's here to be messy.
Well,
with
she comments about how the LDC, she's like, they have like 6 dance moves. And so we're really pushing the boundaries. Like that, okay,
fair.
Talk more about that.
Yeah, talk more about dance-related things.
Yeah, don't, oh my God, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Maddie is the music video for that song.
Okay, I had this later in my notes, I'm gonna bring it up now. So I was like I was on my shit, obviously. Did I start a timer? Who wants to guess?
No.
I didn't.
It's been about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Dad. There we go. I went down kind of like a rabbit hole about 2014, because that's like one of my favorite things to talk about.
Is the year
because
2014.
It's so fucking insane what was going on in the world and also on the internet. And I was like looking at the Sia music video because they kind of show clips of it later on. I rewatched the video. I have a whole section of notes about this later. But then I thought, like, I wonder, like, what else in music was happening at that time? And at that time was, I'm so sorry to bring it up again, but was the rise of Justin Bieber. And it is very difficult to explain how big of a deal he was if you were not in the States experiencing it. It's like he was everywhere when he was like releasing his first like 3 albums, when he did like My World 2.0 and Believe. Like the world was on fire. It was fucking crazy. And because I'm a weirdo, I get recommendations on my TikTok For You page of like his old like music videos and stuff. And he did a performance outdoors for MTV at the VMAs Music Video Awards, MTV's award show. Like out in like Nokia Plaza outside of like a stadium, and was like doing his thing, and he did like a mashup, and there's like all these fans and whatever. And I saw this old video and I thought, is that girl that's next to him Asia? And I kind of went down a rabbit hole. It's not.
Oh, that would have been crazy.
But the little kid next to him is Jalen from Candy Apples, the kid who spins on his head. Why in the ever-loving fuck is no one talking about that? Justin Bieber was exponentially more famous than Sia, and it was before the Sia video. Why isn't Kathy saying my student danced for Justin Bieber on live television during Somebody to Love? Why the fuck is no one talking about that? But sure as shit, I watched it a million times to be sure, and because I love that video. And it's sure as shit, it's Jalen. Isn't that insane?
Speechless.
I'm gonna show it to you when we're not recording. It's crazy.
I'm fucking speechless.
And no one ever talks about
How
it.
would Kathy not bring that up?
Are you shitting me?
That is direct competition with Maddie. He danced with Justin fucking Bieber.
Sia's Chandelier peaks at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100.
That's crazy.
Justin Bieber premieres at number 1 constantly in this era. So like, he is so much more fucking famous than Sia. I don't know how no one's talking about that. It's fucking crazy.
Blows my mind, actually.
Anyway, back to this episode. We cut to a commercial, and when we come back, the moms like have the little present with them, and they open it. The present from Kathy.
Yeah.
It's a chandelier with apples
With
on.
apples, yeah, that.
It's so fucking ugly.
It's awful, and it made me laugh a lot.
And Jill is like, obviously this is a reference to Chandelier. Like, it's
Yes.
going to be a spoof or, like, something.
Yeah.
We see the OG team's group rehearsal, and Abby's, like, making very loud comments about Nia, which kind of pisses me off. And then the moms are, back in the lobby. Still, like, we go, like, back and forth between the moms and the group rehearsal. So we come back to the moms. And Jill says that she thinks that Abby has something up her sleeve for Maddie to do at a solo at Nationals. And Melissa is like, to be honest, it's also kind of weird to me. Because, like, why the fuck wouldn't Maddie do a solo at Nationals? So I was thinking, like, oh, a moment of humanity for Melissa. But then Christy's like, you know what's also weird is y'all had a private lesson before this group rehearsal.
Yeah.
And they show the, like, Ring camera footage from the security camera from the corner. Maddie had a private lesson before she went to Jimmy Kimmel today.
Yeah.
So, like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, Melissa is they're like, it's, what is it? Christy says, like, it's strange that you didn't even react when Maddie was told she wasn't getting a solo. Yeah,
she was like, it was a very canned, like, okay, I really want to do a solo. Can I have one? And then she said no.
It's almost like they
knew
it was
about
planned. This beforehand, yes.
Holly's like, the media appearance is a distraction. This like in-person thing that they're about to do at Hollywood and Highland is so stupid.
Yeah.
And then Kathy walks in.
Dude.
This episode is fucking nuts. Jill in her talking head is like, Kathy's an idiot. And I don't know why the fuck she's here. And Kathy she just starts like talking at Abby. Like she's like, oh, you got my gift. And Christy's like, Christy tells Kathy, because she sees the moms first before she walks into rehearsal. And Christy's like, oh, I don't think Abby even got it, girl. We opened it out here just a minute ago. And she's like, I'm going to go hand deliver it to Abby. So she like picks it up. She walks to the rehearsal and she just starts like throwing flames at Abby, which are like not even that clever, that funny. And Abby's eating a banana and
Kathy calls her a monkey.
But she does that and Abby kind of goes like she laughs and then she walks in again. Oh, I forgot my friend's supposed to be my nemesis.
Right. Which
I thought was really interesting. She kind of like slips up.
Yeah.
And then Kathy goes, guess what? I'm relevant. Which like,
bro, if you have to to tell people you're the king, you're not the king.
Yeah, girl, come on. She roasts her bracelet and then she leaves. And I said, I love her. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in my notes I said,
she kills me, dude.
Kathy keeps squawking something about a banana, claims she's relevant, calls Christy a booger, and Abby completely ignores her.
Yeah. Yeah, I love her. I'm really sorry.
That was a hell of a 30-second scene.
And Abby in her talking head says, it doesn't matter. Maddie has been in a video that has been viewed 50 million times. This is where I started to fall down the rabbit hole, because then I thought, I wonder how many views the Chandelier music video has now. You want to guess? Today, as of yesterday.
I think
2.8 billion views. Here are my thoughts about the video, because I rewatched it. It is
I hope Maddie gets residuals off of that.
Probably not.
Yeah.
She's probably paid an exposure, which is a thing a lot of artists are like paid with. It's like a really dark video. It's like not as cool in 2025 as it was 10 years ago. It's like kind of weird.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
And I get why they picked Maddie. They have her in moments that I kind of wish it was an adult, because it's just so fucking weird that it's a child doing a dance about alcoholism. And also,
well, Maddie might not know that.
No, I know, but I, the viewer, know that. You, the viewer, know that.
Yeah.
So it's like, does she know what she's
I always think that about kids
doing?
I always think that about kids in horror movies.
Yeah, like, do y'all know what's going on?
They don't totally know. They just know that they're playing a role. Maddie's like, I just get to dance.
Whatever, yeah. It's also not shot well in the beginning moments, because the shot is too tight, and so you'll see like Maddie's like torso, and you'll see that she's like doing a movement, but you can't see it because the shot's too tight. I
don't think it's necessarily, or not to, again, go too deep into this, but I don't know that it's totally about the actual dance moves that she's doing.
It's definitely not. But, like, to me, if you're going to make a choice that goes against the grain of what makes sense, like, if you're going to shoot it intentionally so that you can't see her full movement, it needs to feel intentional. And the way that it's, like, scoping in and out makes it seem like your camera op was like, oh, shit, and had to zoom out. And then as she moves to a corner, it zooms in, but she runs across the room, and so it has to dolly away super fast. And it just, like, looks, in the beginning, it looks kind of fucky. I don't know.
Interesting.
Also, the third step of the AA, like, prayer, that, like, the recitation is framed on a wall, which I thought was interesting. I don't know. I think the living room vignette is the most compelling, but it's just a weird
I need
video.
to rewatch. I haven't seen it
It's
in like
really
a decade.
freaky. I didn't live for it.
You didn't live, laugh, love
I
it?
did not live, laugh, love it. Kathy leaves and says, oh yeah, she calls Christy a booger because she's wearing a green dress.
And Christy literally just goes...
She's like, okay, whatever. Whatever, girl.
Christy is perpetually unbothered by Kathy. It's awesome.
Abby calls in the new team, and Christy brings in the chandelier, and it's like, what the hell is this?
And Christy literally just goes, hey, Abby, like,
What's this?
What is this?
Abby screams
Loses
at
her mind immediately.
and then kicks Sarah off the team.
Immediately.
Crazy. Actually,
And Christy's literally like, no, I literally was just asking. I'm not trying to start anything.
I'm just asking a question, dude. But then Christy says that she pulled Sarah off the team. She says, like, God has a plan, which is my least favorite Christian rhetoric ever. That really pisses me off when people say God has a plan. That's not true. Ugh, it pisses me off when people say that. But, like, whatever. She pulls her off the team, allegedly. She gives that bullshit about God having a plan, and then she leaves. Whatever
helps you sleep at night.
Whatever. Commercial. Then we come
Abby,
back.
well, when Sarah starts crying, Abby screams at her. She's like, I said no babies. Hey, Abby, she's 8. And she's getting screamed at and kicked off the team on a weekly basis. And she's frustrated by her mother constantly being in trouble with another woman.
Yeah, it's like crazy. The new moms are sitting in the lobby, and Abby's like, all right, bye. I'm leaving for the night. Peace out. And she says she needs to go see Maddie and, like, do a bunch of real estate things because she's buying property in LA, whatever.
And they're like, great, good riddance.
Yeah, they're like, okay, nobody gives a shit. And the moms say, like, I think she was in our rehearsal for, like, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, she was so not
Talking
here.
about how distracted she is. Like, girl, this is nationals.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
We see the Candy Apples rehearsal, and Kathy's like, Keon's goal is to take the kids somewhere they've never been before. She, like, again, she kind of says the same thing that she did the first time we saw her. She's like, I want to prove there's a difference between the two studios. She stops rehearsals and talks about Abby's, like, in-person appearance, and she's like, let's go and fuck some shit up. Let's go be messy.
Okay, so, again, is this a national dance competition that we're preparing for?
Yeah.
So we're going to take an entire afternoon to not rehearse and not
go
be
dick
ready.
around.
To go, not even to dick around and have fun in the city. We're going to go actively try and get
like
in
West
the
Side
heads
Story
of what we perceive to be the number one op team at this.
We're going to go be the Sharks and Jets in the streets of LA right now.
No, really, though.
So annoying. We see Chloe's solo rehearsal, but she's there with her mom. And Chrissy's like, Abby's just, like, not paying attention.
No.
So, like, someone has to dance with this child and, like, check her out.
Yeah, Christy says, like, it seems like she's using nationals just as an excuse to get out to LA and pursue all these other things. Nationals is kind of secondary.
Yeah, but then G hears her talking shit. Comes around the corner and she's like, I'm sorry, do you have a problem with Chloe's solo? And she's like, yeah, I think it's bad.
Yes, I don't like the choreography
and she is like, well, I fixed this weird timing thing, but, like, she's doing well. It's a good solo. And Chrissy's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, well, Gia looked, like, kind of shaken, too.
Yeah.
Because she thought she was going to confront Christy, and Christy was going to be like, oh, my bad, or whatever. And Christy was like, no, I don't think it's very good. I think
it's bad.
And Gia looked, like, genuinely, like, shaken up by that. She's like,
she's like, sorry, it's not good.
I think it's good. You know,
she's like, well, it's not.
The timing thing is good, and I adjusted one thing, and Chris is like, no, it's bad.
It doesn't count. Jill is wearing a fuck-ass fedora. Let's fucking go.
Hell yeah.
She's also nervous about the time that Abby's, like, not here, and she says, like, we all know that Maddie's gonna get thrown in at the last minute to cover for all these bad solos that Abby's intentionally putting together to be bad.
Yep. Jill has locked in, by the way. Like, the last, like, month and a half.
On a little bit of a redemption arc,
yeah. Like, we love the bringing back the fuck-ass fedora.
We do.
Kendall's been locking in. Jill hasn't been fighting with Abby, like, at all, and now she's absolutely calling this correctly. We know, like, I've never seen this show. I don't know what happens here, but we fucking know that Maddie's doing a solo at Nationals. Come on.
Yeah. The other moms are, like, also questioning how long Melissa has known that Maddie's gonna get a solo, and Holly says that no one, like, really looked that upset when Maddie said she wasn't, or when Abby said Maddie wasn't getting one.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of nothing. Like, Melissa's just, like, kind of stone-faced.
Yeah.
Which is telling.
Yeah. We cut to a commercial, and then we come back, and we're at this, like, fuck-ass personal appearance thing in the streets, and the new team and their moms are also here. So we've taken everybody out of productivity and brought them to something that's bullshit. And the host's name is E-Baby. Love that. Sorry.
That's crazy.
That's fucking awesome.
I'm
sorry. That's what I'm going to start calling you.
No, please don't do that. My
That's
mom,
what I'm going to start calling you.
when I played baseball when I was really young, she used to call me E-Man.
Oh, wait, that's kind of sweet, though.
And she would shriek it from the stands.
Okay, well, don't love that part.
And
don't
every
love the
time, well,
shrieking.
because she knew it would make me like kind
It'd
of
piss you
laugh
off.
and also make me mad.
But then you can channel that into baseball.
Yeah, but I was good anyway. I didn't need that shit. I was. Ask anyone I played baseball.
I believe you.
I was the best player on the field by a long shot.
I believe you. I'm gonna start calling you E-Baby.
Don't do that.
Abby is up on this like little clearing platform thing under like a walking bridge, and Abby plugs the Jimmy Kimmel performance and whatever. The canned audience applause in this is so shit. Because it's so disproportionate is what it is. It sounds
awesome.
like we're at the fucking Super Bowl.
It's awesome.
And there's like 12 people in the streets.
It's awesome.
For those of you who were steeped in internet culture, it's like when TanaCon blew up and she says there were 200,000 people or whatever, and the most number was like 5,000. It's very bad. Like, it's insane.
What is TanaCon?
We'll talk about it later.
Or who is TanaCon?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay,
it's like a whole thing. God, the freedom of not being on the internet must be so nice.
Yeah.
I crave the sweet release of not being on the internet.
Yeah, and the only way that I'm on the internet is
because of me.
Is sports highlights and like stand-up comedy. That's like all that I interact with on the internet.
Sure.
It's great.
Abby announces the ALDC is going to have an LA studio in the fall. She like puts her arm around E-Baby and is like, I want you to come teach hip hop, and they like shake hands. It's like very weird. She also calls E-Baby an old friend. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know how true that is. And she says she wants to see how her kids throw down. She wants her kids to see how E-Baby's kids throw down in the streets. Crazy. Just like in the streets.
That's a combination. That's a combination of words that have never come out of her mouth before.
Yeah.
And it looked like it.
Also, I now have in my notes, Jalen was in the Justin Bieber video. How was no one talking about that? And I also wrote, I'm glad I wrote this down to remind me, that number was 4 years before this, meaning that he probably did that or he might have gotten to Kathy on Dance Moms because of that video. They happened around the same time. It was 4 years ago when the show first started filming. So,
that's wild.
Anyway. Kendall says that they aren't like the ALDC girls aren't like the real street dancers that E-Baby has, and Kathy and her dancers are up on this walking bridge like looking down. Also, Vivi's there. Period. Love her.
Slay Vivi. They also Kathy has this huge like Apple clock looking thing.
Whatever.
I clocked it.
I would pay $1 million for that clock, but whatever.
Did you hear what I said?
No, I did.
It was very funny.
Was it? Listener, you get to decide. Let's ask the audience.
Kelsey, write in and please be gentle.
Kelsey? You mean
Kaylee? Yes. Kaylee, write in and be gentle.
After all the
fucking
bullshit
roasted.
she listened to.
Now I'm getting roasted.
Not even remembering her name. Damn. Holly says, of course, we can't have something fun. Kathy has to be here and ruin it. Dude. And E-Baby's like, who do we have that wants to compete? Oh, the Rotten Apples? Tea.
Awesome.
And then, like, Abby starts to leave. And the moms kind of go with her, but then Jill is like, hey, did you know it looks like you're running away? She's like, no, I'm not. Turns around and goes back.
So I have a comment about this whole scene.
Well, you've come to the right place to have comments on things.
Oh my gosh, can I talk into this microphone?
Yeah. Wait, before you do, look at the dog.
Oh, I know. I just was tickling her belly a little bit. She's so sweet. So it looks like this is kind of like it's meant to look like this is like an impromptu dance battle or whatever.
Sure, yeah. Whatever.
I don't understand. We'll get to that. Hey, Amanda, your timer's going off. We'll get to it in a minute, but it seems very clear that it's not that.
Right. Hang on, let me restart the camera. Okay. I do kind of wish that this was an Abby Kathy dance-off. That's what I thought it was going to be.
My God.
And I was like, dude, let's fucking absolutely get it. Like, let's go. And it's not.
Absolutely.
But I really thought, I would have loved that.
Dude, watching Abby, I think, is aware of who she is,
right?
And I think she would do okay. It would
she
be
would pop and lock.
It would be it would be fun and goofy or whatever.
Ass, yeah.
It wouldn't be too crazy. I bet Kathy doesn't know how to dance.
I bet Kathy does.
No,
I bet she does.
I just fucking looking at her and watching her exist as a human being, I bet she doesn't.
I bet that's why she's so awful, is because she knows she's talented.
No.
Okay.
That's not it.
Okay.
It's just not. It can't be.
Okay, gaslighting women, crazy. During Pride Month, are you kidding?
Oh, no.
Crazy.
You're not a gay.
I know, but still crazy. We cut to a commercial, then we come back, and Abby, in her talking head, is talking about nationals being 2 days away, and she says,
Sorry, I was about to
What?
say, you're a straight, so I'm allowed to be mean to you this month.
no, but I'm a woman,
Oh, okay.
so you're never allowed to be mean to me.
Well, I'm not.
When we went to DC, me and Leah, I don't know how anybody put up with us, but me and Leah, we were there during International Women's Month, and then during International Women's Day, and every time Eli opened his mouth, we'd be like, on International Women's Day, crazy. And then the next day, we were like, only 364 days until International Women's Day, crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Abby and her talking is talking about nationals being 2 days away, and she says that if her kids let this imbecile beat them in the street, they'll never hear the end of it, which is awesome.
Yeah, she says about Kathy that they challenged the LDC to a dance off, and Abby says I beat you in the studio and I'll beat you in the streets.
Period.
That goes a little hard.
That's hard as fuck, actually. The Candy Apples boy immediately pulls an Eli and drops hands on knees, popping ass.
Yep.
He's 10 maybe, and is getting his absolute life, and it's awesome.
Yep. When the dance right before the dance off started, I almost didn't want to watch it. I'm not lying.
Yeah, I was like,
this is going to be the most
clunky,
this is going to be the most cringe thing of all time.
Yeah,
I was so worried.
Bad. Low-key, the Candy Apple skits are kind of eating this shit up.
Well, Chloe comes out though.
Chloe and Nia.
Yeah.
Nia eats, and Nia at the end, she's challenging the Candy Apples kid. She hands over her head and then hip bumps the kid next to her.
Yeah. Well, Chloe sass walks up to them and does this thing
yeah, she's like, let's
and
fucking
beckons
go.
them back. I was just like,
hell
bruh.
yeah,
Chloe
dude.
is eating right now.
Yeah, Nia, I have in all caps, Nia, pull out a death drop, I'm begging.
Yes.
Which she does at the end.
Of course.
Thank fuck. And Holly's like, I saw Nia do things today I've never seen her do before. Whose kid is that?
Can I just say, I teared up a little when she said that.
Yeah, I'm like,
she was just like, I'm so proud of my daughter right now. This is crazy.
Justice for Nia. When her book comes out this fall, I cannot wait. I'm going to make you read it. Or I'm going to talk about it with you a lot.
The thing is, Nia has not been super successful fitting into the box that Abby wants to fit her in.
Yeah.
But as soon as she gives her, the Maya Angelou thing, or now she's doing, a street dance off, whatever.
Thing, yeah.
She's fucking crushing it. Imagine
awesome.
that, Abby.
I know.
And Abby will not recognize that. She won't,
when no
clock
one's screaming at her, she's doing really well.
Well, or when she's doing a different style of dance than Abby is willing to teach.
Yeah, exactly. And then the winner is determined by audience applause. We whittle it down to Nia and Chloe and a girl
that was awesome.
Yeah, and a girl from the Candy Apples named Mackenzie. And eventually the Candy Apples girl wins, which is kind of annoying.
Which, fine. I thought that this whole thing went so much fucking better than I thought it was going to.
I will say, this is about as in the streets as Fast and Furious 2. This isn't in the streets. They're doing choreographed group numbers, but whatever.
It's crazy that you called it Fast and Furious 2 and not Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah, I didn't want to because that name is lame as fuck.
Well, yeah.
Also, Ludacris is in that one.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Abby plugs the Jimmy Kimmel appearance again. She's like, don't forget to watch Jimmy Kimmel tonight. And then she just screams, watch TV.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny. Watch TV. Thanks, Abby.
And then we get a teaser for Nationals next week.
Well, so you're skipping a large part of this.
Oh, the group.
And that was that there were group dances that were rehearsed.
I know. They were so choreographed.
At first, I thought that it looked clear the girls were improvising, they had thought about a couple of things before the actual dance off started or whatever.
Right, sure.
But then they're like, all right, group dance off, and the ALDC comes out and I was like, what the fuck's about to happen? Are they all just going to improv at once? No. They have a structured routine that is fine. And I was like, wait a second. This all was framed like this was an impromptu deal
in the streets,
and impromptu dance off, let's do this. No, they practiced for a while to get ready for this.
The girls' individual moments were probably impromptu,
but
the group wasn't.
But still, this whole thing they knew was going to happen.
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
Whatever, girl.
And so that took so much of the magic out of it for me.
The magic is crazy.
So I was like, look at Chloe and Nia crushing it.
I know.
This is cool. These kids, I was like, wow, improv is actually really hard. And I was nervous for everyone, but they're doing great. No, they fucking practiced it.
Right.
It's so much less cool.
Yeah.
I hate this show.
That's the end of the episode. Good news.
It's the end of my sanity is what it is.
Fair enough. What's your song of the week,
It's
baby?
called... No, we're not doing this. If you, listener,
if
you write in and you call me E-Baby, you're banned.
If you write in and call him E-Baby, I'll kiss you on the forehead.
Yep, consensually.
Consensually.
So my song of the week is The Complexity of Light. It is by the Children of Nova.
Cool.
And I just love that song. That whole album is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. The album's called The Complexity of Light as well. That whole
the eponymous track.
Just listen to it straight through. It is what I would call it is progressive rock. It's prog rock. There are like elements of metal in it.
Is that what prog stands for?
Yeah. Yeah.
My dumbass thought it was Prague like the city.
No.
Prague.
No, Prog.
Isn't Prague a city?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I thought it was prog rock.
Nope. And it's called that because it's progressive. It uses a lot of like strange time signatures. Like the drumming and guitar are really like challenging technically and creative sounding. It's not meant for everyone. It's not like rock you'd hear on the radio.
Sure.
But I think that it's very good. It's very fun to listen to if you're into that kind of thing. The Complexity of Light by the Children of Nova.
There's a moment in Hamilton that's in 7/8.
Yeah, so like a lot of 7/8 is used in Children of Nova don't do as many strange time signatures, but like Dream Theater is the perfect example of or Porcupine Tree, another great example of a prog rock band. Yeah.
Slay. My song of the week is a song called Plan B by Megan Thee Stallion. I like that song. The end.
Cool. Wow, a first for you.
Yeah, my goal was to talk about my song of the week less than yours. So I'm not going to talk about it. Because I'm a stubborn bitch. And I do the things I want to do, and that's it. And I don't be doing shit I don't want to do.
Hell yeah, dude.
Follow us on social media if you feel like it. Our Instagram is @thepyramidpod. Our email is thepyramidpodcast@gmail.com. Keep writing in them emails. I love all of them equally except Callie's because that one's my favorite. But
who?
Kaylee.
Yes! Yes! Justice for Eli for forgetting a name for a half second. Yes!
Sorry, baby. I didn't mean to do you like that.
We were so intimidated by the greatness of her email.
It's also spelled Cailee. So up until today, I thought it was Callie. And then as I was reading it, I was like, oh, it is Kaylee.
I know someone named Kaylee that spells it like that.
Sorry, Kaylee. I'm sure you get that all the time, Diva. I'm so sorry.
I bet she doesn't. I bet it's pretty easy to read
As someone
her name.
with a funky last name, I feel that pain of people mispronouncing your name, so I'm really sorry.
You want to know what's crazy is my name's Eli. That's not the crazy thing, but what's crazy is people for so much of my life, every time I got a new teacher or like there's a substitute teacher, every single time they would call me Ellie. Every time.
Really?
It's like it is 3 letters.
It's 3 letters. You
Eli.
sound it out.
And Ellie is spelled like ELLY or IE.
IE, yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Sorry, soapbox.
What else? His Instagram is @Eli_farmer_. Follow him for cake and dog pics. Mine is, am I wrong?
I also, my nephew was born like a week ago, and there's a picture of me holding him, and it's so cute.
My Instagram is @NotAmandaB_. Follow me for shit posting, pining and yearning.
And barking.
Well, that's only on my close friends, to be fair. That's only like 8. Actually, it's like more than 8. But that's only like a handful of people who see that shit. I don't post it on public.
I'm honored to be a part of your bark list.
I don't yearn on main. You know what I mean? I yearn in private and on close friends.
Sure.
And that's a selective list.
Sure.
Write in, whatever. Next week is the finale of season 4. Crazy, first of all, that we've been doing this for that long. Crazy that I've been doing that for that long. This for that long. Jesus Christ, I should see somebody. And then the episode after Nationals is a recap reunion. We never watch those. We never cover them. We'll just skip right into season 5. Don't worry. And I guess that's it, dude.
Good night, Alyssa.
Good night, Alyssa. Good luck on your finals. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye!
Oh, you woke up the dog.
She already had her finals.
I know, but it's funny.
Oh.
She's also probably awake when she listens to this, so...
Well,
good.
maybe.
It's also not the nighttime. It's the morning.
Said she listens to him at night, though.
I guess that's fair. Us screaming.
And then I shriek in her ear.
Us screaming her to sleep. Yeah, basically. Jesus Christ.
Hello. Hi. How are you? Oh, thank you.